This is my artist assistant, Miss Sophia Bubbles
Hi.
Rainbows, and she's probably home like you guys are home. No school. This is March break, but it's a bit of an unusual one, isn't it? Here, I'll come back with you. Come on over.
It's very long.
It's very long. How are you feeling?
Good.
Okay, let me get in here. I'm not getting in here. Hello. There we are. Here we both are. So hi, I'm Christina, from the artist from Samian Art, and I illustrate children's books. This is Miss Sophia Rainbows. She's my daughter. How old are you, buddy?
8.
She's gonna come and draw along with us today, and we're gonna do 2 drawings today. We're gonna teach you how to draw a blue whale and a narwhal. So I'm gonna get us switched over here to our drawing pad, and anybody needs to get their paper, their pencils, and their erasers. Now's a good time, okay? So today we're gonna do a blue whale and a narwhal. And Sophia's got a few really cool facts that she wants to talk about that she learned through. Where'd you learn it through, Sophia? You can help all the friends learn something new too.
National Geographic for Kids.
So National Geographic for Kids. We got some cool tips about blue whales and narwhals. So today we're going to start with the top guy. Sophia. There you go. We're going to start with the top guy, which is the blue whale. I am working on my computer, so it's a bit like using a pen and paper.
I'm gonna write my blue whale.
Okay, you write your blue whale. And I'm going to teach you guys how to draw this simple little blue whale that I did. And after the show, I'm going to take and post some PDFs on how to step-by-step, 5 steps on how to draw these particular creatures. So is everybody ready? Does everybody have their pencils and their erasers ready? Okay, because we're going to start off with the first step. For all of my older artists that are joining us, one of the most important steps of figuring out your piece is to see how big your surface area is, and don't be shy about filling the whole page, but also be aware you don't want to go over the edge. For all my younger people, go ahead and pick any space you want to pick, because sometimes spatial stuff can be a little bit difficult. So the first step we're going to do for the blue whale, which is actually one of the largest creatures to ever live on the earth. Did you know that?
The largest animal to live on Earth is almost 30 meters or 3 buses long and 130,000 kilograms heavy.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty big, isn't it? The first step is to draw a U shape, just like that. So you got the top open. That's going to be the belly of your whale.
Okay, can I make it a bit more U-looking?
You go for it. There's only 2 rules that we have in our whole broadcast, is that just be kind to everybody, and there are no such thing as mistakes. They're just beautiful accidents, or even beautiful oopsies, as Sophia calls them. So once you have your...
read it in the book.
Yeah, she read that in a book. She thinks it's pretty cool. So once you've got your belly of your whale, I am going to draw a curved line, almost straight across, like that. So this is its head. And I'm going to draw a second line across, just like that, for its tail.
There we go.
You got your tail, and everybody's got their tail. And what I try to do is break them down into basic shapes. So you have your semicircle, or your U, and some lines on the top. We're going to do the next shape, which is 2 triangles, but they're not going to be closed. They're going to look like alligator mouths. So here we go. 1, 2. And that makes the tail of our whale. This guy's going to look a little funny and a little different than the whale that I drew before, but that's okay. I kind of like him. Oh, I like the tail. How's everybody's tails looking? These are called the fluke, aren't they, for a whale? They're the fluke.
Here's what I do as a trick.
What do you do as a trick?
Sometimes when I'm trying to draw a whale, I draw a leaf, and then I draw a leaf. And if you see here, it looks like a tail.
That's a pretty good tip. You can do 2 leaf shapes as well for the tail. Thanks, Sophia.
You're welcome.
The next step, I like having happy creatures in my paintings, so I make a big smile on my whale. And it sort of happens at the start of that U shape that you made. And then I give them little happy cheeks like a C shape. And whales often have a really big looking belly on the underside. And we've really exaggerated it in this picture. So I just make another C shape down there to make his belly. And right about in the middle, I do another one of those triangle shapes to make his fin. Sometimes I do it as more of a curve, and sometimes I do it straight like that. And a circle for his eye. And another circle for his eyeball. Now with this, it's basically your shape of a blue whale. I like to add a few details, like some stripes on his belly. Just like that. You can do them all the way down to the ground, from one end to the other like that if you want. In my example, I didn't, but maybe I'm going to do that right now, just like that.
I'm doing it.
You're going to go all the way to the bottom? And what are whales known for? Whales like to spout water out of the top of their head. So maybe this whale is at the surface, and in my example I did that. So I take two lines side by side like that.
I have a fact about their spray.
You do? What's the fact about their spray?
The spray from a whale's blowhole can reach up to 3 meters.
3 whole meters?
Yeah.
That's like taller than your dad.
Yeah.
That's pretty tall. So we've got little raindrops or little bumps to look like the water coming out of that whale, and he's spouting it out. And I like to add a little extra raindrops here. And then I add little details like some bubbles so it's under the water. And if you like waves, if you can draw the letter C, you can make waves. Here we go, 1 C, and I connected it. It looks kind of like a funny triangle there, doesn't it? 2 C's, and this whale isn't quite coming to the surface, but that's okay.
I know my cursive, so I just do my cursive.
So you drew cursive C's. If you guys know how to draw cursive C's, Sophia's giving you the tip of drawing a whole line of cursive C's to make the C. Isn't that kind of funny? C and C. Yeah. Okay, so that's the blue whale. And then you can go with your eraser and make other little details. You can color it any which way you want. And as you can see, every time I do it, I kind of do it a little bit differently. I made him a little bit thinner lines on him, and I didn't make the lines go all the way down. Here's my new blue whale.
He's blue. Coloring him blue.
You're coloring him blue. You're starting coloring already?
I just wanted to know what color I'm using.
Okay. So I'm going to open up the narwhal and show you guys how to draw a narwhal next. Do you have any other cool facts about blue whales before I leave?
I have 2.
You do. What are your 2 facts about blue whales?
They live in every ocean except the Arctic. And the blue whales can live up to be 90 years old.
90 years old?
I have a page.
That's definitely older than me, that's for sure.
Yeah. Have my nose.
I'm putting my whale blue too. Do you have those were your 2 facts, were they?
Yeah.
So blue whales are in every ocean except
the Arctic.
The Arctic Ocean. Okay. So you can get your crayons and start coloring this guy, but if you want, you can add a narwhal to your picture, or flip your page over, or get a new page.
I have a new page.
Yeah, I know you do, because you're going to use both sides eventually. She's a really big artist. And we'll start drawing the next guy, which is the narwhal. The narwhal. I want to call him the narwhal, because we're talking whales, but it's actually narwhal.
Narwhal.
And narwhals actually live only in the Arctic Ocean. So we're sort of doing, they might not ever meet, I guess is what I'm saying with these guys. So is everybody ready? on how to draw a narwhal. I'll actually go a little slower with this one because it's a little bit harder to do, or it can be a little bit harder to do.
I have 4 narwhal facts as well.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about, tell us a little bit about.
Their horns can grow up to 3 meters or 9 feet long. Their horn is actually a giant tooth.
A giant tooth. Okay, so if you're drawing your narwhal, you got to remember there's going to be a really big tooth in there. So this is why I've turned my page around so I can do a longer vision of it. So I think my narwhal is going to be about that big. The first step to drawing a narwhal is to draw an egg shape or an oval. Mine's kind of got a little flat space here. You don't have to do that. You can make it a really round oval, or you can make it slightly flat. It's all about the character of your narwhal. So I'm going to call him a narwhal for a while.
I made an egg.
You made your egg. Now this is where if you have an eraser, we're going to start to use it, okay? The next shapes we're going to do are 2 sort of triangles. Here's a triangle here, but don't connect them.
Like the tail?
That's like on the tail, yep. And then a triangle for his very long tooth.
What I did is I put a dot for where I want my tooth to start and where I want my tooth to end.
That's a very good tip. I actually did that in my picture and I didn't say that. I put a dot where I wanted my tooth to begin and my tooth to end. And then the next triangle we're going to do is right here, right near the bottom. It sort of overlaps the bottom. And that will be its fin.
I'm going to erase my line in the middle of the fin.
Well, that's exactly what the next step is.
Yeah.
Take your eraser and you can erase the lines where your fin overlaps so it looks like the fin's on top of the body, and right where your open triangle is so that you can see that the tail still connects. Now, I use triangles, and see, this is what I was talking about earlier. If you don't have enough room on your page, that tail is going to be pretty small. So I did 2 open triangles to connect the tail.
So I'm doing my leaf trick again.
Okay.
When you have your leaf trick, you can erase the thing connecting to where you want the tail to start.
That's a very good tip. This is why I brought her along. She knows what she's doing. So for your narwhal,
My tail is a baby tail.
what else do we know about narwhals? I thought there was a pretty good fact about them as families.
Yeah, this is the 4th one.
Okay.
They live in parts of the Arctic Ocean. They can be 6 meters long and weigh 1.5 tons. Narwhals usually swim in pods of 5 that can come together in the summer in pods of 500 or more.
500 or more?
Yep.
That's a pretty big family.
Yeah.
So what I've done here is I've just added a line across to attach my fin and to attach the big tooth for the belly. And I'm also going to add a line because I like happy characters for his smile. Now what I really like is when a character is laughing or smiling really big smiles. So I like to express that in their eyes, because sometimes when you see somebody like, right now I'm smiling really big, and my cheeks go up and make my eyes a little bit of a different shape. I'm going to show you Sophia's thing. There you go, because I can't see. So what I'm going to do with his or her eye is I'm going to do a straight line and a semicircle. And that gives a look like this whale is smiling huge, or laughing maybe. And I do another little semicircle inside to get the eyeball. So these are really simple drawings. And then once I've got that, I'm going to start doing my favorite part, which is putting little details. So the spirals, a couple lines inside that horn, and some dots further back. So if you look at the pattern of a narwhal, it's got some really neat spots on top, and it's really dark on the top to sort of disguise itself. So if you're looking down in the ocean is dark, and it helps to camouflage it. And its belly's usually light, so that if you're looking up from below, you can't see it because it looks like the sky. So once you get your pictures done, grab out your colors, your crayons, your markers, your paints, your stickers, whatever you've got. And you can pick which other project you've been working on and just start coloring. I'm using my computer to color, but it's not cheating because I'm actually also using a pen like you guys and a pencil like you guys. And use your imagination. Think of a story about your whale. Are the narwhal and the whale, blue whale, meeting? Are they on separate pages and they have different adventures? Things are happening to them. They're going on an adventure together, or on different adventures, I should say. I've got a particularly happy rainbow idea for my narwhal, or not my narwhal, my blue whale.
Yeah.
Because I love rainbows and I love color, so I'm going to add some rainbow color. Whatever you want to do. This is your story and your creation, so have fun with it. And if you get your pictures finished and your mom and dad or your guardians are good with it and you want to share, I've put a little hashtag in my description called Draw with Sam and put that with your picture, and we'll collect a couple of them and showcase them next week when we're back drawing a new thing together.
I found when I lightly brush my purple, it kind of looks like watery blue.
Oh yeah? With the purple?
Yeah.
That's a good tip. I like that tip.
But I think I'm going to use my blue for the ocean. I'm just going to do the top with the waves.
I think this whale that I've got has got a story. He's so colorful and he's going around making everybody happy. And he sings a song, and maybe he's got a little bit, he gets a little bit made fun of because he's so brightly colored, but then people realize that's okay.
I'm going to make a rainbow belly too, except his story is that he went to his friend's house, but then a wave came, and when the wave hit him, he became rainbow.
The wave hit him and he became a rainbow color?
Yeah.
What was in that wave? That's pretty cool. It sounds like a magic wave.
Yeah.
So this is how I work on pretty much all of my drawings. I maybe take a little bit longer to do some of them, but I always start out with basic shapes. I try to find the basic shapes in everything that I draw. Like faces are ovals, and some faces, if you look really closely, might be more square or more round. Just sort of look for the shapes everywhere and start with those. The eraser is my friend. I love trying new things and changing them as I go. The key to drawing and learning to draw well is to just keep practicing, keep trying, and never be afraid of all those little beautiful oopses you're going to find on the way. I once did a painting, which I don't have anymore, somebody owns it now, but I once did a painting of a nighttime sky, and I was really excited about it. And when I was looking at it, I tripped, and I threw paint on my canvas, and it went everywhere. And I was so upset. What ended up happening was that color looked really good in the sky and made the sky look even more interesting and fun to look at. So I used that color and made the painting better. So that's what, when I talk about there's no such thing as a mistake, really. One of my favorite artists to watch, Mr. Bob Ross, always said there's no such thing as mistakes but happy accidents. I totally agree. And if you're really not happy with the end result of something, it's okay. You've learned something new. You've learned maybe that shape doesn't work or that color isn't quite right. Or maybe you've learned that you like those colors. Who knows?
Since I want my light blue to look a bit of a different color than the whale, because I use the same one for the whale, I just put it lightly.
You just put it lightly?
When you do something lightly, it changes the color.
It's true. If you are learning how to use your markers or your crayons, with markers and with my pen here, you can actually get different size of lines. I'll show you quickly on my whale. I can lightly press and my line is just a little thinner. If I press harder, it's a little thicker. And that can kind of make some interesting shapes or discoveries. If you're older, it's called line weight. Oh, you can learn that if you're younger too. It's called the line weight of something, and sometimes when something's really close to you, you can see the edges darker, and it makes it come forward. If you use lighter line weight, it makes it go
like if
back.
You have a shine, if the sun is shining through your window and you put your hand up, the closer you are to the thing it can shine on, the thicker the light, the outline looks, and the more detailed the shadow is.
This is stuff she learns just by observing. That's pretty cool, Sophia. So if you guys look around and you see shapes and colors, that's one way you can build your art knowledge, just by observing the world around you.
I have a pink in here. I don't know what it is though.
You can borrow one of my pinks if you'd like. I'm going to move over to my narwhal here. I'm going to make this narwhal a little crazy. This is not a natural colored narwhal. Oops. Why is that oops? Because I had an oops.
I'm going to grab my twistable pink.
Your twistable pink. That's why I put all of those next to you. So if you're using pencil crayon or crayon like Sophia is, you can actually do something different with your crayon and pencil crayons and marker users. You can do light strokes, and I can't demonstrate on mine, but Sophia is showing some of that on hers, and it's a lighter color. And if you push harder, it makes it a darker color. And that's what we call tones of a color. So it's kind of a good way to use your crayons and your pencil crayons to their full potential. You can have a box of like 4 or 5 pencil crayons and have so many different varieties of color by mixing light tones together, by changing the tone of your pencil, and you can see kind of neat things happening with it.
I like to do twistable blends. I take the pencil or the twistable or whatever I'm using.
Yeah.
And I take and I color, and then I take another similar color and color gently over top of it, and it makes a whole different color. So if you look at my narwhal's tooth,
Yeah.
I blended 3 yellows together to make the tooth.
You did 3 different yellows together?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
These are
cool.
old twistable stuff.
So is everybody having a good time? Is everybody making some really cool narwhals and really cool whales with some interesting stories? I mean, you could add anything with these guys. You could add mermaids or deep sea divers or sunken treasure, whatever you want to do for your story. It's completely up to you.
I have pictures here as well on the back of everything.
Oh, yeah, Sophia pre-drew what she thought a narwhal and a blue whale would look like, and she did a pretty good job. I think that you came up with your own cool shapes and your own cool way of doing things, too. And that's what I love. Art can be any different shape and any different size.
I'm going to make a very green narwhal.
A green narwhal.
One of my twistables completely just lost their twistable.
Oh no! You know what? I'm thinking this narwhal, as easy and simple as I've done him. This narwhal's got a really cool story. This narwhal is an ice cream narwhal. That's why it's so colorful. And it lives in the ice cream ocean. What would the ice cream ocean look like?
It maybe look like all the ice cream flavors.
Maybe it would look like all the ice cream flavors? If you guys have an idea, you can totally comment below and tell me what you think an ice cream ocean would look like. I think there would be ice cream cone features. It's going to be one of my ideas.
Mine is a grass narwhal. She likes to play in the seagrass.
She likes to play in the seagrass. That's kind of cool.
And I'm going to double layer her. I'm going to blend her.
There, my ice cream cone is 1 circle, 2 circles, 3 circles, and 4 circles. And because I want to have it my least favorite flavor, I'm going to tell you guys, this is not my favorite flavor. But I'm putting it in because it represents 3 different flavors.
Oh, is it Neapolitan?
It's Neapolitan!
I love Neapolitan.
I do this to make you happy. Maybe there's other people out there who love Neapolitan too.
There is strawberry vanilla chocolate ice cream.
Strawberry vanilla chocolate ice cream. Mm-hmm.
When I get Neapolitan, I like to mix my vanilla and my chocolate and my strawberry. And when I mix them together, I get like a strawberry cookies and cream.
Strawberry cookies and cream. You're making me hungry. So if there's something else that you guys want to learn how to draw, let me know in the comments. And we can definitely see what kind of things we get. And maybe next week we'll do a new theme that you guys chose. Actually, this theme was chosen by Sophia.
Yeah.
And maybe she can tell you why she chose it.
I chose it because I really like the water and I really like whales. And I like narwhals. And my mom said that that we should do 2 kinds of whales. And I mainly chose the theme because I really, really like the animal and I really like the water, and that's where they live. That's why I chose whale.
That's why you chose the whale?
Mm-hmm.
I love the green color you chose. It's very light lime green.
I'm actually going to mix, so I'm going to put a different green on top of it as well.
See, she's experimenting with color. I'm doing straight colors. Well, I mixed a few for my Neapolitan, but she's going to experiment by putting some colors together.
I mixed 2 yellows for my...
I can't wait to see what it looks like. I can't wait.
I'm just going to mix a few different colors in a few different places. So I basically destroyed the tip of my twistable.
I'm going to put my favorite ice cream. Yes.
You like chocolate?
Oh, chocolate is one of my favorites, but... And nope, this is not pistachio. Although it kind of looks a bit like pistachio.
I can't see it because my screen's covering it.
It almost looks like I made a happy face on this one.
I can't see the pistachio ice cream because my screen is
Oh yeah, your screen is covering it. They can't see my pistachio ice cream. Oh no, guys. It's not pistachio ice cream.
Whatever it is. Oh my goodness,
There we
it's
go.
chocolate mint.
It's chocolate mint. It's my favorite. So this is the kind of stuff that we do here in my studio. We have a lot of fun. We make up stories as we go. We start with something maybe that we work together to draw, and then we just go our separate ways and start creating pretty fun stories. Well, at least they're fun for me. Hopefully you guys are doing the same at home and making up some cool stories for your characters that you're creating. And now you can't see any of Sophia's whale because she's right over top of it. That's okay. She'll move in a second. She's really getting into the work. I don't blame you. Maybe there's like sprinkles in the ocean. Oops. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, it's because I'm not on my pen anymore. I'm just going to use little dots of sprinkles in the ocean. Because I'm so silly. And I love creating art with friends, so I'm so glad that you friends can come out and join us to do some artwork. And I'll bet you everybody's looks so very different and so amazing. And if you didn't have time to join in and you want to learn how to do this again, I will have some PDF sheets with the steps up on my site after the broadcast. You can download those and keep them for reference.
Here's my narwhal.
Here's your narwhal. Oh, so cool. I love the shading that you did. That's really amazing.
His belly's gonna be purpley blue.
If I have some artists out there who want to know a little bit about shading, do I have any out there? Probably do. One of the things that I try to remember when I'm doing shading is I keep in mind where is the light coming from. So if I did this narwhal and the sun's shining down through there, there's my arrow to remind me. You don't have to draw an arrow. It's just for me to remember. And on my computer, it's easy to get rid of that arrow too later. So when the light's coming down, anywhere on your whale, it's kind of hard for me to point this out to the camera when you can't really see my drawing. So I'm going to put my pen down so you can see what I'm doing here. Anywhere on the whale, like right here, might be just a little bit brighter because of where the sun's coming from. But not every side of this whale is going to have the sun showing. There's going to be some shades. Hey, if you're just starting out, don't worry about it. If you're a noob or a new person at this, don't worry about it. It's going to look a little bit different than what I'm drawing, but that's kind of the beauty of art. Ooh, and we got some great art from Sarah and her group over there that's working on them, right? Hi guys. So yeah, don't get too upset with yourself. We're all about being kind, is being kind to yourself as well. If you're learning how to do this and you're like, oh, this is not working out, don't worry. Keep trying, keep practicing. At the very least, you're learning something new. And you're spending some time with some new friends here too. Like Sophia's pretty excited to have friends to draw with today, not just Mom. So this is a lot of fun.
I'm almost finished his belly.
You're almost finished his belly? So with my... So that's how I... Sorry, I got distracted by my light here. So I would put maybe a lighter color on the horn. I could even go white on the horn if I wanted a really bright light source. I don't think I want. For shadow, you want to pick something that's a little too dark. Pick another darker color, not necessarily black. Shadows aren't just pure black. I'm picking a blue here. So it might look funny at first, but that's what I'm picking. So you're done over there, Sophia?
I'm just going to do my lighting too.
You don't have to do the lighting. I think my little narwhal, my little cartoon narwhal looks pretty good without having extra shading and lighting on him. So you don't have to do that. That's just something that if you want to experiment and try, you can go right ahead. I think my narwhal needs a little bit of super tiny dots. Oh, it's not so super tiny. It's down her belly. I've decided my narwhal is a she. Your narwhals can be whatever you would like. They, him, her, anything. Because they're yours and they come from your imagination.
Not ours.
Not ours. Ours came from ours.
Yeah.
If you guys are having any trouble or have any questions about any of the steps or just want to ask me any question in general, feel free. I am watching the comments. And I am more than happy to answer whatever's on your mind. This is my ice cream whale.
They look so cute.
I think I'm going to put some Neapolitan waves or something. Just because I like to make myself... I'm going to do a gray to make it look... There you go. This is so silly. I love it. And if you guys are worried that your narwhal doesn't look like mine, or doesn't look like Sophia's, or your blue whale doesn't look like mine, or doesn't look like Sophia's, that's okay. They're yours. And I, for one, have been doing this for a very, 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 very long time. So I have lots of practice. And Sophia, whenever she's homesick, or whenever she's home because of a PD day, gets to sit in my office and draw and practice. So this is what we do a lot together. Right, bud?
Yeah. So don't worry if you don't think yours is as good as ours.
Or maybe yours is better than ours. I'm willing to believe that some people have got better ones than ours. Or different. Let's leave it at that. Their art is going to be different and wonderful just the way it is.
It's my narwhal.
And if you're joining in late, or you missed part of it, or you just want to watch again and try again, I'm going to leave this video up on Facebook and on Sam My Art, and it will also be available a little bit later on YouTube, so you can follow along if YouTube is easier for you.
I'm making seagrass now because I said she likes to play in the seagrass.
How are you making seagrass? What shapes are you going to use for seagrass?
I'm just running my Twistable on the page.
Okay.
So I'm making savannah grass color.
Savannah grass color. Is that like a hint that maybe you like to play a certain game online? Like Minecraft?
I do.
I don't know how many of you out there are crazy Minecraft nuts. I know at least one of you is, because Sophia likes to play with you regularly. Hey, Jack? Those two can make some pretty cool stuff, especially when they get going. Yet another sort of almost art form, you guys. It's pretty cool.
I use my art skills in building in Minecraft as well. I have a whole world that has a bunch of builds.
I'll redo that. I cheated there. I don't need a big eraser because I'm working on the computer. There we go. Maybe you guys are already done. I mean, we could do this forever and ever and ever. We just love to draw and just keep going. In fact, we could probably spend all afternoon doing this. If I hadn't promised somebody she could go maybe play outside for a little bit and then do some Minecraft.
You didn't say the outside part.
Well, I'm going to enforce the outside part.
Come on.
I'm Mom. I get to do that.
Sometimes I take my whatever I'm working with and I press light and make the light bits taller. Then I press a bit darker and make them a bit shorter. Even harder and make them shorter. So it looks like different layers.
So, if you have any suggestions between now and next Wednesday of what you'd like to draw, let me know. And I'll work towards building some sheets on how to do that. And we can have some fun doodling or drawing next week. If there's anything else you want to know, like you want to see some of the books or read some of the books that I've illustrated, I can do that too. Whatever you'd like to do to...
A copy of every book she's illustrated.
You do have a copy of every book I've illustrated. What's your favorite?
I don't know. I like them all.
I was going to say, that's kind of putting you in a hard position, isn't it?
It is.
I think my favorite to draw is where this guy's from. This is Carson. And he's from one of the books I did called Joey the Dragon. Because Joey's a big purple dragon who is just so lovable. And I want to hug him all the time. He was fun to draw. And there's lots of cats. So if you love cats, there's lots of cats in that book.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not lots and lots and lots and lots, but there's lots of cats. And I also love drawing...
I'm just going to move you guys so you can see my pictures.
There you go. There's both of Sophia's pictures.
There's my narwhal and my blue whale. I didn't do my lighting for my blue whale, but I did for my narwhal.
That's okay. I'm not going to do lighting on this one because I just like him the way he is. I'm just going to put a little bit of seaweed by using circles and semicircles on this line so it looks like little leaves. Like so. Now, this has got to be some pretty big kelp or seaweed because if a blue whale is the size of 3 school buses end to end there, that's pretty big seaweed. But that's okay. This is my imaginary world. Maybe this is a miniature blue whale. I don't know.
Like I read a book about a miniature mermaid.
A miniature mermaid?
That could fit in a teacup. The girl and her friends were having a picnic, and
I'm excited.
Then they decided to go further into the farmer's yard. Then one girl needed to go to the bathroom, so the other went with them. And Hattie, the main girl, decided to climb the rock, the crying rock, because there was a little pond and there was a waterfall, and it looked like the rock was crying. So she climbed up it, and she heard a song being sung from the pond at the top. So she slowly climbed up, and she found a tiny, tiny mermaid, 7 centimeters long.
A 7 centimeter long mermaid.
So she brought the mermaid home and told her friends, "This is a real mermaid," but the mermaid wouldn't move. So they said, "It's a doll." And she put the mermaid in a teacup full of water by her bedside, and every time she went to sleep, she would see the mermaid in the cup.
Oh, okay.
And then her friends never figured out that it was a real mermaid.
Oh my goodness. This sounds like a cool story. Thanks for sharing.
Welcome.
I've decided to take my lines on my bubbles and make them disappear. And make them little white. So that is the Little Mermaid. Oh no, it's not the Little Mermaid. That's a different story.
Yeah, it's called. It's a French book, but in English, it's called The Mermaid in a Teacup.
What is it in French?
La sirène dans une tasse à thé.
See, this sounds like the kind of book that I would like, because I love tea. And I love mermaids, and dragons, and fairies. It sounds like a really cool book. So I think that's going to wrap up our session here today. I am so glad that you could join both Sophia and I on doing our artwork. I'm going to post this up and this one up on my page. And you can either put your art below in the comments, you can put them, if your parents permit you, to put them up on their page, or if you have your own. And use the hashtag #DrawWithSamIan so I can see them. And thank you so much for joining Miss Sophia Rainbows and myself today. And we'll see you.
Hi.
There she is. She's going to show herself. She's not shy. And all of the stuffed animals in my office. So we will see you guys next week if you want to join for another session of drawing with us. We're really glad to have some company to draw in the studio today. So give us your ideas. If not, we'll come up with something. Don't worry. And in the meantime, have fun. Stay safe. Love y'all.